Hi, folks. This is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report. You know, the DEC has just come out with a new fish advisory about what fish and how often you should eat fish. And, you know, we've all been concerned with that in the past because we hit a point decades ago where this became something that people were really concerned with and were setting regulations, at least voluntary regulations about. Say you could only eat fish, let's say, once a month or whatever. The DEC now is finding that there are some fish that it will be, I don't know if the right word would be to say safer, but they are not as worried about us eating certain fish as others. And one of the things they found is that the St. Lawrence River and Great Lakes system offers more of an attractive catch and keep fishery than most other waters in the state. In other words, there's species in the St. Lawrence River that would not be as dangerous to eat, and there's species that are really prevalent in the river. So what are those species? One of them I can tell you they don't want you to eat is smallmouth bass. Now, I guess it's all based on the diet of these fish, and some fish are more prone to eating certain things that would have high contents of mercury. But the fish that you can eat are most of the panfish and trout. These are much, much safer to eat. And here's another interesting thing in their new advisory. They've always recommended pregnant women do not eat fish caught in our waters because anything that they eat is going to affect the unborn child. And if they're eating high contaminants, those contaminants can affect the development of the child once it's born. This is a big deal. The DEC now says that in continuation of that young kids, young people, are much more prone to have ill effects from eating fish that contain certain contaminants, whereas older folks aren't as affected by this as much. And so they're encouraging now that older people take advantage of some of the sport fish that we're allowed to catch and eat them. Because fish are good for us. You know, as bad as we think they are for us with the contaminants they might have, and believe me, fish in the ocean are no different than freshwater fish. They're full of contaminants too. But fish are so important for our diet. Their omega counts are so much higher than almost in any other food that we can eat. And so that's an important thing. But I think it was really interesting to me to find that now they're encouraging, that's probably a bad word, encouraging, but they're saying that we might be able to eat more fish than we thought we could before, as long as we're selective and as long as we're aware of what these contaminants can do. Mercury is one of the big contaminants, but there's other chemicals that these fish have in their fat cells that can have adverse effects on us. But I think this is kind of encouraging. Right after I just had 2 different trout that I ate that were caught in our streams and enjoyed them about as much as any meal I've had in ages, it's encouraging to me to think, well, maybe it wouldn't be too bad if I ate some other fish. Until next time, folks, this is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report.